The young princess named Leora sat at the highest balcony of the Silver Palace as the twin moons drifted over the horizon in silent circles. Her world, Valorian, glowed in hues of violet and blue that shimmered across the plains like soft fire. She had been raised to believe that her future carried significance, that her bond would shape alliances and secure peace among the star nations. Yet as seasons changed and emissaries arrived from across the distant clusters, every suitor who stood before her council looked past her as though she were a child of no merit. Her father, King Aramar, never understood how it cut through her heart. She never complained, but each dismissal chipped away at her hope. Leora was the youngest of the royal line, smaller and quieter than her older kin. Though her mind possessed a clarity few carried, her people treasured strength of presence, the kind that filled halls and ignited attention. But Leora held a gentler presence that eased hearts rather than demanded them. Suitors wanted glory, not gentleness. Thus she was overlooked. The hall of suitors stretched across 100 pillars, made from crystal ore mined from the outer rings. Visitors from far worlds gathered in flowing robes or armored plates. But none cast their eyes toward the princess. Instead, they aimed their speeches at the king, boasting of lineage and conquests. Whispers followed. Some called her too young. Others said she lacked the fire of her sisters. They wanted someone whose touch commanded political weight, not a princess known for her quiet voice and thoughtful gaze. She said little silence became her shield. King Aramar insisted the council continue the search. Valorian faced brewing tension with the distant dominion, and the king believed a bond with a powerful ally could calm the threat. So emissaries from star unions, battle clans, and knowledge guilds arrived one after another. Still none looked to her. It was during the 5th cycle of requests that an unexpected visitor approached a human. He arrived alone, without a guard, without a grand ship, without banners. His name was Rowan. Humans were relatively new among the central star nations. They had built colonies and small stations, but their influence had not yet reached the height of others. Many species still viewed humans as unpredictable, too bold and too fragile. They lacked the long lifespans and genetic enhancements common among advanced civilizations. Thus Rowan's arrival surprised the court. Some laughed, some frowned. Some did not even turn their heads. Rowan walked with calm confidence across the hall. His steps echoed lightly as he passed the pillars that shimmered with pale light. He wore no ceremonial cloak, only a simple jacket and modest boots. His posture carried respect without fear. King Aramar regarded him with puzzlement. A single human had come to present himself where many powerful suitors already stood. Rowan bowed his head. He did not speak of bloodline or victory. Instead, he said something the court had never heard from a suitor. He asked to speak with the princess herself. The court muttered in disbelief. Some scoffed that a human lacked the right. Others whispered that Leora would dismiss him at once. But something in the king stirred. Perhaps curiosity, perhaps hope. He allowed it. The hall cleared only Rowan, Leora, and 2 guards remained. Rowan met Leora's gaze, not the king, not the guards. She had not felt a stranger truly look at her in many seasons. Her pulse lifted. Rowan spoke softly. He had traveled through unstable sectors, delivered aid to abandoned outposts, and negotiated between feuding colonists. He understood the value of listening more than speaking. He explained that he came not with demands, but with intent. He wished to learn who she was before he dared claim a future beside her. Leora studied him. Her world-prized presentation and power. Rowan offered something different: honesty. She asked him why he stepped forward when others ignored her. Rowan replied that he had observed the hall from the moment he entered. He saw suitors ignore her. Not once had anyone addressed her directly. To him it seemed wrong. If one hoped to build a bond, one must first see the person they sought. Her heart shifted. No suitor had ever spoken this way. She agreed to walk with him through the moon gardens. The guards followed, but kept their distance. Silver flowers glowed under the starlight's soft winds, carried the hum of crystal vines that reacted to movement. Releasing gentle tones, Rowan asked her about her world, her interests, her hopes, her fears, her dreams. He listened without interrupting. Leora found herself revealing truths she had never spoken aloud, that she feared becoming a symbolic tool, that she longed to travel beyond her star system, that she wished to help negotiate peaceful ties rather than be used as a political centerpiece. Rowan listened. His expression never judged. He shared stories of human outposts, of communities learning to thrive in harsh conditions, of mistakes humans made and lessons they learned. He spoke of humanity's flaws as openly as its strengths. It felt real. It felt genuine. She told him that many viewed humans as reckless adventurers. Rowan laughed lightly and admitted many humans embraced risk too quickly. But he also said that humanity valued connection and stubborn hope even in the darkest places. Leora liked that their walk continued hours past unnoticed starlight painted the path in soft waves. Leora noticed she no longer felt the weight of expectation. Rowan treated her as a person rather than a piece of diplomacy. The next day, the council reconvened. Rumors spread. Many mocked Rowan, calling him unworthy. Some feared the idea of a human bond because they saw no advantage in it. The king watched carefully. He saw the way his daughter glanced toward the hall entrance. Waiting, Rowan returned, not with loud speeches or gifts. Instead, he brought a small device containing recordings of human music from different settlements. He offered it to her with a simple explanation that every song held a story of resilience and yearning, that he hoped she would find meaning in it. She accepted. As her fingers brushed his spark passed between them. Still the council resisted. The king's highest advisor declared Rowan too weak in status and lineage to stand as a suitor. Another advisor warned that a bond with a human would offer minimal political stability. More arrived to protest. Voices echoed. Arguments burned. Through it all, Leora sat in silence, her hands folded, her gaze steady. When the protests grew fierce, Rowan stepped forward and requested permission to address the council. Some sneered, but the king granted it. Rowan spoke slowly. He said he could not offer grand fleets or ancient bloodlines. He could not promise dominance or intimidation. Instead, he offered respect, partnership, and unwavering commitment. He said he would stand with her, not in front of her or behind her. He said he was willing to learn the customs of Valorian and uphold their traditions while keeping his own honor. He spoke of unity not through power but through effort. The hall quieted. Even those who mocked him earlier paused. Leora felt a warmth rise through her chest. She had waited her whole life for someone to speak words like that. The king dismissed the hall to deliberate. Advisors gathered in heated debate. Some argued that allowing Leora to choose freely would harm national strategy. Others whispered that Rowan's sincerity might build a new kind of alliance, a fragile one perhaps, but one built on honest ties instead of fear. The king remained silent. He watched his daughter from across the chamber. She stood by the moonlit window, holding the small device Rowan gave her. Her expression glowed softly, not with naivety, but with clarity. He saw something he had not seen before. Her confidence, her choice. When the council reconvened, the king made his decision. He would not force his daughter into an unwanted bond. He declared that the suitor worthy of her would be the one she chose, not the one chosen for her. Gasps echoed. Advisors protested, but the king silenced them. Then he asked his daughter directly, whom did she choose? The hall turned still. Leora stepped forward. Her voice rose clear and certain. She chose Rowan, the human who saw her, the human who listened, the human who stood forward. When all others overlooked her, the hall erupted again. But Rowan's calm presence steadied her. He bowed respectfully to the king. He promised he would honor her and the traditions of Valorian. The king studied him for a long moment. Then he stepped down from his throne and placed a hand on Rowan's shoulder. He said that if Rowan ever broke his word, the stars themselves would hold him accountable. Rowan accepted without hesitation, though tension rippled through the council. The decision stood. Leora felt something new bloom within her. Not just hope, not just relief, but a sense of being finally. Seen over the following days, Rowan remained in the palace. He learned the customs of the Valorian people. He studied their rituals, their speech patterns, their history. He trained under their instructors to understand their ways of diplomacy and defense. He requested lessons daily. He worked until exhaustion. The court was stunned by his dedication. Leora spent time teaching him the language of her people. He learned quickly. His determination impressed her. She watched him struggle through complex phrases, then finally master them with patience and humility. During breaks, they walked through the moon gardens again. Conversations flowed easily. They shared stories of their childhoods. They exchanged small cultural habits. Leora laughed more than she ever had. One evening, Rowan asked her if she regretted choosing him despite the backlash. She shook her head. She told him that for the first time in her life, she felt her choice mattered. He smiled with quiet gratitude as days passed. Whispers throughout the palace began to change. Some who doubted Rowan started to observe his efforts. He treated every